There has never been a better time to start making money online, period. If you're a beginner, don't do trading because you are gonna lose money. Last month did $30,000 in online revenue. The fastest path to get what you want is to fix your bad habits. Let's talk about AI. 2025, 2026, everybody is talking about AI. And yeah, if you're just starting out as a beginner, you're trying to make money online, right? The most important thing that you need to learn is, of course, AI right now. I mean, there's a whole stack of skills that you should be learning, but AI is at the top because it's just going to change a lot of things. So if we talk practically about how to utilize artificial intelligence, if you're just starting out with any make money online avenue, right? So first, it's very important to identify like what exactly you're going to be doing, right? If you're doing graphic design, for example, I work with graphic designers in my agency, right? I have an agency. I create educational videos for various different big SaaS businesses. And I have a team of graphic designers, and they create thumbnails, different graphics for me. And our process right now, because before you create an actual thumbnail, you first go through the process of actually creating a sketch. And what I can do is I can take a piece of paper and a pen, I can draw out my thumbnail idea, and then I can take a picture of it, and ChatGPT or whatever LLM you're using can actually then take that rough sketch and give you a much more like colorful, cartoonish visual sketch for as a YouTube thumbnail idea. So this is kind of like a practical example of what we use in our team to very quickly create sketch ideas for YouTube thumbnails or any graphic we are essentially looking for. So that's one kind of thing for graphic designers. And of course, this is like the beginner, right, level. Then we have the more advanced level. I'm sure you've heard about this new trend, Nano Banana. It's the thing extension from Google as well. Super advanced, right? Incredible quality. I've been playing around with it a little bit, and you can generate like whole thumbnails with like precision, right? So again, you can, if you're generating a thumbnail or if you're working some graphics, you can generate parts for your thumbnail using AI, right? Whatever it is. So for example, say you need a house with construction workers on the house. Well, you can essentially ask, AI to do that, explain exactly what colors you need, explain the context of it, then grab that, pull it into your Photoshop, and then blend it all nicely together, right? And you need to stay on the cutting edge, of course, of the things like Nano Banana is one. This is kind of the latest one, but really learning how to use that, I think, is important, right? So this is in terms of graphic design. In terms of writing, well, of course, if you're a copywriter and you want to get into that, right? And by the way, I talk about this, right? Because I actually have copywriters on my team who help me with, creating the scripts for my videos. And you might think, oh, okay, well, ChatGPT or AI is so good with textual things, it's just going to create, a script for you from scratch. And you don't need, like, copywriters are dead. You don't need copywriters. Bullshit. You do need copywriters, or at least not in the traditional sense. You need proofreaders. You need people who will go take the rough draft. Because what LLMs and chatbots are really good at is synthesizing just insane amounts of information and giving you, very quickly, outlines and full on kind of these very rough, raw drafts that used to take people, in teams of PhDs, so much time. And I've done a lot of training. I've gone very deep into this. We're not yet at a level where I'm going to be happy with what the AI creates without human intervention. It's just like, it can do a really great job, but then you read it and you're like, I don't know. I don't really like it, It could be like, yes, I will generate you these perfect, hooks, and I'll generate you. But it's like, it's not, it just doesn't like hit it. Like it just doesn't get it 100%. I'm not saying this won't happen in the future. In the future, we probably will have, future might be in a way that AI will write the text without any human intervention. As of right now, it's really good at giving you the rough thing. And then I have a copywriter slash proofreader go in, polish it up, remove fluff. It's kind of like, imagine there's a sculpture, right? And then you first have like the rough around the edges, like you make the shape, and then you have a person go in and polish it. So that's how I see these proofreaders now act for the scripts that we're creating with AI. But overall, I mean, productivity has skyrocketed. I mean, I'm not alone, right? Everybody is this. And I'm talking to all these companies, and they're all launching these new exciting features with AI. But if you're a company watching this, or you're someone from the company and you're launching AI just for the sake of launching AI features, I'm not sure if that's really like the way to go about this. In my opinion, I think it's more important to just like solve actual, problems for people instead of just having AI features because everybody else is having AI features, right? So this is my 2 cents on that. In order to provide the best possible service, quality, products in the market, right, you need to be a master of your craft. There's no shortcuts around that. You can generate all the images you want with AI, but if you don't know how to use Photoshop, if you don't have all the features of Photoshop, if you don't know how to blend things together, how to make them pop, how to make them nice, that's a problem. I believe you do need to learn the basics first. And I'm not saying that you should only learn the basics and not learn AI. No. You need to learn them together simultaneously. But what I'm saying is you cannot just learn AI graphic design and not have the basics of, say, Photoshop, or for that matter, even understanding human psychology. Why, how do certain colors affect humans, right? Which color do humans respond the fastest, right? I read this thing about that, there's a reason why cabs in New York are yellow, because yellow is the color that humans react to the fastest. They did actual measurements on that. So in my opinion, there's no shortcuts. You need to learn the basics. You have to know these things. I mean, all the great masters in the human history have gone through something which is called the stage of apprenticeship, right? Where they studied under other craftsmen and masters to learn their crafts. And it takes them, years, over 10 years that they usually say that it takes to learn something very deeply. And so, yeah, that's what I think. I think that you should be learning both. If you're just starting out and you have no basics, find a free or a cheap course. There's a bunch of resources, of course, on YouTube. Learn. Now, here's an important thing. You need to really commit to being the best. Like, if you want the best, you need to be the best. It sounds so cliche and simple, but it's so true. It's like these stages, it's like stages of acceptance of that. Okay, I really like, this is super hard, but this is what's going to take for me to be the best, right? So, you can learn certain things, and once you find someone that is really good and they can teach you, learn from them, right? But you need to be consistently and constantly upgrading yourself, right? It's not just you take one course on Photoshop or graphic design and that's it. You need to be consistently, searching for people who are the best. Who is the thumbnail designer for Mr. Beast? Okay, it's Chucky Appleby. All right, look at the interview he has with the YouTube team, right? The guy who does the algorithm thing, and then also the liaison for YouTube. So they have a cool podcast / interview. You can look into that. Just like scout, like just search, find people who are already the best and like see what they have available online. Go out and like potentially offer them some kind of like something of value. Try to get in contact with them. Attend seminars, meetings, of course, about this. Stay on the cutting edge of things and continuously reinvest into yourself to learn more and more, because you can never be too good. You can be amazing, but you can never be too good. There's always room for improvement. So coming back to your question, I think that, yeah, beginners should definitely learn simultaneously AI and the basics and develop themselves there. There's no shortcuts. There has never been a better time to start making money online, period. It's so true. When I started, there was nothing. I mean, of course, there was the internet, which is in itself amazing, but every word that you wrote, you wrote it yourself. And I'm sure you did the same. Now it's like you can test things so fast. You know, you can put together whole landing pages with just by saying words to your computer. How insane is this? I mean, I use something called lovable.dev, right, to build my landing pages and my websites and all this. I just love it. I'm on a monthly subscription. They're a Swedish unicorn startup. Great people, right? And I have this extension on my computer called Whisper, WISPR. And essentially, I just click a button in any field that I'm in, it will transcribe what I'm saying, right? So my rate of typing has actually gone down a lot. Matter of fact, Whisper, I have talked to Whisper 134,500 words. That's how many words, and I've been using it for 21 weeks. So that's how many words I have already saved typing just by talking to Whisper. So, you know, coming back to your question, there has never been a better time to start making money online, to start learning how to do it, because not the boundaries, the barriers to entry have significantly been just diminished, reduced. I mean, if you just have the drive and the hunger, you can go out. Like, the one thing you need to learn is how to sell. You know, of course, there's so many things you need to learn if you're just starting out, but learning how to sell, learning how to communicate with people is critical. Because I like to say that people will take you to places where money can't. And so that's very true. There, you can only get so far without talking to people, but business is relational. Like, it's based on relationships. So for example, I do a lot of affiliate marketing, right? My week, I take 10, 12, sometimes 15 calls per week, talking to various companies, talking to various people who are affiliate managers. And I get to know so many interesting people, and sometimes I get brand deals from that. Sometimes I get more favorable affiliate terms where they increase my CPA, or they give me, you know, instead of a flat fee, they give me more recurring commissions, right? So you need to network with people and you need to sell yourself, right? So then this comes down to your appearance, right? Your habits. People like to surround themselves with people who they like. The playing field is leveled. It's before you had to use click funnels if you wanted to build a funnel and drag all the blocks and do this. Now you just use lovable.dev, say, hey, build me a squeeze page. I want to collect emails for my new project called this and that. Visualize it in your head, boom, send it. 1 minute, it gives you a full landing page with all the forms. Then you sign up to an email service, grab the API, plug it into Lovable, say connect to this, connect the form. Then you buy a domain on Cloudflare, connect it also automatically. Like, I mean, it's just all automatic. You can have a landing page with a custom domain connected to an email form and Facebook ads in like a few hours. All you have to do is just come up with ideas. Like, that's it. Like, the creation is super democratized nowadays. You just come up with an idea. Recently, I'll give you an example. Recently, I had an idea. So I'm on good terms with ClickUp. I'm affiliated with them, and I drive a bunch of traffic to them. They gave me super great terms, and so shout out ClickUp, love them. And then yeah, essentially, I had an idea. I'm like, okay, well, I want to spend $100 to test a funnel, and my funnel idea was I wanted to set up a quiz, right? So the quiz essentially was, hey, are you looking for a project management tool? Take our quick quiz to see which tool is the best for you. So I set up this quiz, right? Custom domain, and then I started buying Facebook ads for $100, and essentially people like answered a few steps of the quiz, and then at the end, they get recommended. I want to be clear here, no matter what they answered, they got recommended ClickUp because I was biased, but the idea was there, right? Obviously you can, like, depending on what they answer, you can suggest different things, but yeah, I spent 100 euros on Facebook ads. I drove the traffic, and I saw how many people went through the funnel, how many people clicked, what's my cost per click, what's my cost per action, and that's it. Like, I tested that in like 2 days. Took me like few hours to set everything up, set up a campaign in like another hour, and then I ran it for 2 days at $50 a day, and then I tested the funnel. And the conclusion that I saw was that the market is competitive. The cost, the CPMs on Facebook ads for the audience in the project management space is very expensive, and so you need to have it's really hard to compete for that audience with paid, because all these other, like, all the companies, they are buying these ads themselves. ClickUp and Monday, they're all buying these ads, and obviously they have much bigger budgets and LTVs that they can spend on it. So your best bets is to, of course, leverage organic traffic. So yeah, if you're a beginner, man, I'm jealous. There has never been a better time. You got to start now. Great question. So take it from a guy who last month did close to $30,000 in top line revenue from his online business. So essentially, if I was a beginner starting again, this is exactly what I would do. First, I would get a smartphone or a DSLR camera. Okay. Now, let's assume that you have a laptop and a smartphone with a camera that can shoot at least in 1080p. Every single phone, if you have a camera, you can at least shoot 1080p. If you can do in 4K, great. And most likely, if you're watching this, you also have a laptop. So internet connection, phone, and a laptop, that's literally all you need to get to $1,000 per month. I promise you. And the way you do that, it's simple, but it's not easy, okay? The roadmap is very clear, and this is exactly how I would do it. So you get into something which is called, I call it affiliate marketing 2.0, okay? So affiliate marketing 2.0 essentially means promoting established offers, companies, products with organic traffic, organic content from YouTube, okay? This is the formula. And the way you do that, the way you get organic traffic, is by creating educational evergreen videos, okay? So you take your phone, you put it on a tripod, whatever, find something, hold it up, record yourself, okay? If you don't want to record yourself, then unfortunately, most likely I won't be able to help you. Because I believe that if you want to be in business, if you have to be comfortable with being on camera, you have to be comfortable with talking to people. This strategy that I'm kind of preaching and that I'm promoting, that I'm talking about, requires you to be on camera. That's what I know. That's what works for me. So if you are comfortable being on camera, then you can listen up. So essentially, you create educational evergreen videos, and these videos then drive traffic to your affiliate partners that you sign up with. So you can go to affiliate networks like cj.com or impact.com or PartnerStack, right? You create an account, you create your profile, and then you start basically applying to different, affiliate programs. So an affiliate program is essentially a company that has signed up to the affiliate network to find affiliates like you and me who will be promoting and driving them traffic and driving signups, and they're going to be paying you out. So the beauty about affiliates marketing is that it's what's called performance marketing, right? So they pay you once they themselves make money, okay? So they only pay you for results. And that's both, of course, a curse, but it's also a huge benefit because it will teach you how to drive real value to businesses. And this is the most important thing that you can learn, is how to be useful to others, how to be useful to other people, and how to be useful to other businesses. And if you can figure out how to drive paid signups to businesses, you are very quickly going to get to $1,000 per month. I mean, let's break it down. $1,000 per month. Okay, let's say that you sign up to an affiliate program, and let's say that you're going to make, say, $50 for every sign up that you drive them. Well, the math works out that you only need to drive them 20 a month. 20 a month is like less than one a day. There's 30 days in a month. So think about it. If you just like laser focus, you take one company, $50 payout, you have a goal. You need to drive 20 signups. Okay. Then you do the back, you do the math. How many views do you need to get in order to drive those 20 signups? Well, the views depend on what kind of content you make, right? The conversion rate. There's something which is called high intent keywords. So those are keywords that people look for when they're further down the marketing funnel. And then there is top of funnel keywords, which the audience doesn't know of. And the company doesn't know of the solution, the brand yet, but they know that they have a problem, right? So problem solution type keyword. So this is a lot, like this is much more advanced stuff that I'm talking here about. Probably not for a beginner to yet understand, but because there's levels of this knowledge that you can go down to. But essentially what you need to understand is if you have a phone, a laptop, and an internet connection, and you're willing to be on camera, you can figure this out. I have a free guide on my website. You can find it at georgevlasiev.com/affiliates. I actually broke down this whole strategy like step by step. So if you're interested in learning actually like how to do this step by step, I mean, I explain everything there. I think it's like 40 pages or something. So you can download it completely for free. I'll leave a link in the show notes below here as well, georgevlasiev.com/affiliates. Go grab yours. And yeah, I've explained my whole strategy basically step by step. First, coming back to your question is, if you're a beginner, please don't do trading, because you will not make money on trading. It's only like 0.1% of people who will actually make money on trading, and it's not gonna be you, I promise, okay? The chances are, there's the odds. Just look at the odds. What is trading? Trading falls into the category of speculation. And of course, it's very easy to sell you on the idea that trading, you just place bets up, down, green, red, and you make all this money. You just need one successful trade offset the unsuccessful. It's so garbage, man. Trust me, if you get into trading, you are gonna lose money, and you're gonna remember what I told you. So I never did it. I never recommend it. Drop shipping. So I do not recommend beginners start with drop shipping at all, because it is hard. Of course, it's easy, right? It's easy to throw up a Shopify store. It's easy to buy Meta ads, right? It's easy to start driving traffic and getting revenue and stuff. But what are you trying to do? If you're trying to make profit on the front end, meaning you spend $10 in ads, people buy for $10, and then people buy for 20, and you're making $10 profit. Well, I guarantee you will not make money on the front end. I did e-commerce and dropshipping myself for a long time. But trust me when I say I did over $250,000 in top line revenue for with e-commerce, with dropshipping. I sold 3 different stores. So it doesn't just come from someone who hasn't done it. Like, I've actually done it, right? So I can tell you that making profit on the front end with drop shipping is not possible. Okay. If it is possible with some trendy products, well, it's unsustainable, because all these trendy products are going to die, right? You have the barrier to entry in the market is too easy. And as soon as you have some success, all these other copycats are going to copy you. That's number one. So now, what is drop shipping? Well, drop shipping is just a form of fulfillment inside of e-commerce. Okay. E-commerce is the thing that you're getting yourself into. Now, if you're getting yourself into e-commerce, well, my friend, that is hard and expensive and it is not beginner friendly, right? Why? Well, I have a friend of mine, right? He is also in e-commerce, and I just had a call with him recently as well. And I'm like, all right, how's it going? And he was like, break it down. Like, what should you do? He's now making about $1,000 per day in profit. A brand that he launched about, I think, maybe 6 or 9 months ago. So he told me that the way to go about this is you need to build a brand. Okay. First and foremost, you should not rely on one marketplace to drive all the traffic and sales, because when you do that, well, you're at the mercy of whatever, Amazon or Etsy. And if they decide to ban your account, suspend your account, whatever, you're out of business, period. So marketplace like Amazon FBA, well, you shouldn't just sell on Amazon. That's first and foremost, because they can remove you and you're out of business. Second of all, do not sell on Amazon and try to compete with price, because 80% of Amazon sellers are Chinese factories essentially, and you will never beat them on price. That's the second thing. And the third thing is, if you're going to do e-commerce, then you should compete on, of course, storytelling, branding, and solving some kind of a real problem that a specific demographic has in the market. So, there's so many things like buying a cool domain. He just paid like something like $12,000 for that domain. Think about that. Is that beginner friendly? No. Do you necessarily need that? Well, not really. Is that going to give you a significant advantage, an edge? Yes, absolutely. So that's the one thing. Second thing, do you need to have like, okay, drop shipping? Okay, well, what are the times of delivery? Well, yeah, you can find a supplier who can deliver 7 to 10 days. Da, 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 da. Take it from a guy who has done several $1 million. I'm talking about my friend. He's like, he buys stock. He has cash. He buys several hundred, 500, whatever, 1,000 pairs of the thing that he's selling, right? And then he pays the supplier to manufacture it with his own branding, labeling, and then the supplier, the manufacturer, sends that to the customers, right? So again, very important. You need to build brand loyalty with e-commerce, because the most important thing is in e-commerce is CAC, LTV, and repeat customer rate. CAC is customer acquisition cost, LTV is lifetime value, and repeat customer rate. How many times, or what's the percent of people that come back and buy again, which essentially drives up the LTV, right? Because that's it. Like CAC and LTV, those two numbers is essentially what you need to have in a successful e-commerce business. How much you're spending to get someone inside the business, and then how much is that each person on average, of course, I'm talking about averages, is going to spend with you in the business. If your LTV is lower than your CAC, your business is not profitable. If your LTV is higher than your CAC, then of course you have a business going on. So the markets are very, leveled. So you won't be able to get a super low cost per sale with any type of platform where you're buying traffic from, whether it's Meta or Google or whatever. So the way to go about e-com is you first come up with a great idea. Okay. You see some kind of a pain point in the market that you think you can solve. Second of all, I recommend you go out and pitch your idea to investors and try to get money into your business. And then you use that money to then put together a team of, the best in class. You need to have a copywriter, an email guy, an SEO guy. You need to have product team, content team. You need to have all these people in order to run a successful e-commerce business. And then if you have an idea, if you got external money, right? If you have an investment and you've been able to put together the best team who can help you execute, then you have a good chance of succeeding at e-commerce. That's my 2 cents about it. Like AI is not going to magically make e-commerce easier, right? It will make certain parts of it easier, like, coming up with ideas for the product photos and the titles and descriptions, this and that, and it can help you even maybe build like a website, right? But AI doesn't just magically solve things. You need to dig down into the foundations or the basics of what makes a successful e-commerce business, and then take it from there. The biggest trap beginners fall into when they're starting to learn how to make money online is don't do trading. Like trading, I consider trading almost like a scam. Like really, like to me, it's, if you are someone who sells education about trading, that to me is definitely a scam. Trading is just so full of shit, man. So you just need to, obviously, it's really hard for beginners to know because there's so much information. There's so much conflicting information. Someone says agency, someone says digital product, someone says affiliate marketing 2.0, yada, yada, yada. It's so hard. Okay, what should I do? I can tell you what I did. I tried it, man. I tried it all, right? I had enough brains to not do trading because I was reading, a bunch of Warren Buffett and investment advice, and they basically put it, trading into the category of speculation. I never considered myself to be a speculator. I consider myself to be an investor. So I never even tried trading myself. I mean, I did some like horse race betting, but that was for like 1 week, maybe. It was kind of fun, but it was like pennies, like cents. But yeah, essentially, I think the biggest trap that beginners fall into is, some people would say, oh, the biggest trap beginners fall into is the shiny object syndrome, right? You tried this, it doesn't really work. You tried that, it doesn't really work. You tried this, it doesn't. Well, I actually did that. I tried a lot of different things, and I don't think that's a trap. I actually think you should do that. You should try different things because first, you're going to learn a lot of things. And second of all, you're going to also learn what you don't like, what doesn't suit you, what doesn't work for you, right? They say, oh, well, you need to just choose one and focus on it and, make it work. Well, what if you choose something and it doesn't align with who you are, right? Well, you shouldn't do that. It doesn't align with your skills, your strengths, your lifestyle that you want, et cetera, right? My friend, he's like a builder. He is going out and building his e-commerce business, right? But to me, that doesn't really work. And I want to be in front of camera. I want to create content. I want to be in content creation, affiliate marketing 2.0. That's what I do, right? And that doesn't work for him because he doesn't want to be on camera. He doesn't like it. So you got to try, but he tried my thing and I tried his thing, for many years. And so you just have to like try different things, and you need to see what you like, what you don't like. And then by this process of like elimination, you essentially will figure out what works for you and what you like the most. So that's kind of my answer to that. But I think the trap that beginners make, well, I would put it like this. The trap is your own behavior. Okay. And this is something that I did, and I'm going to tell you a story which hopefully will resonate with some of you. So I started learning how to make money online at around 20 years old, right? That's when I got into self-development and learning how to make money online. Now, before that, at the age of say 17, 18, I started smoking weed, right? And I smoked a lot of it, man. Like a lot, almost every day. And so my mistake, the biggest mistake that I have done was that I was smoking while I was learning this thing. And the reason that's a mistake is because you are not going to get as far as you do if you are sober and focused. So the mistake isn't necessarily in trying different business models and buying different courses and listening to different people. No, that's all part of the process. But your own behavior, your own destructive habits, your own clarity of mind, this is what's super important. You might look at some of the content creators online and you might see that they're smoking cigars and they live this party lifestyle, but that is created to sell you on this idea that this is what you're gonna get by following their advice or whatever. But this is not how they got there. They got there through extreme self-discipline, through extreme clarity of mind. So I would say that the fastest path to get what you want is to fix your bad habits. If you are overweight and you eat junk food, trust me, it's affecting your clarity. If you smoke or drink, that affects your clarity of mind. And believe me, this world is extremely competitive. And if you are doing that, well, guess what? There's another guy like me who has now been sober for 9 months, who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, who exercises like very often, goes to bed and wakes up at the same time, and who wants it more bad enough than you do. And so I'm going to outcompete you in my field every day. I'm going to be more sharp. I'll get more things done. I'll talk to more people. I'll produce better content. So the fastest path to get the most results is to fix your bad habits. Get in shape. Priority number one, cut the junk processed food, eat clean. It's not hard. Remove the bad habits. Stop drinking, stop smoking. That does nothing for you. Okay. Don't make excuses. Oh, I need nicotine to focus. Don't take that bullshit that Hormozy sells you as well. Don't do none of that, man. Just like eat clean, drink water, and go hard, man. Be clear in your mind. That's what's going to get you the fat. You got to generate momentum. Momentum is what's going to drive you forward. If you don't have momentum, or if you generate momentum, that's what happened to me for 10 years. I generate momentum, and then on the weekend, for example, I would get high, and then all my momentum would get reset. I'd wake up, foggy mind, lazy, unmotivated, don't want to do shit. Now I've been sober for 9 months. I've achieved more progress in these 9 months than I did probably in the past 10 years combined. Obviously there's a delay in results and all this, but still, like, it holds. I place very big emphasis on your own behavior and in your own habits, because I feel like a lot of people have a lot of bad habits. And if you can just fix those, which is extremely hard, you can already be doing so much better. I like Iman. He is very successful for his age, very smart. I respect him. And he has built a massive personal brand, media empire. And he has done it himself. He always says that he has a team, which is true. I mean, you cannot do these things alone, but he is the mastermind. He is the brain that has collected and put all these people together, created these, this infrastructure essentially. So I think Iman is great. I think right now he talks about personal branding. He talks about making money with AI. He's very smart with making money online. He definitely makes a lot more money than I do on the internet. So, people lie, but numbers don't. And, I think that you should learn from the people that you admire, and you should ignore 99% of the people. But when you find out one person, you should listen to them very carefully, right? Some people resonate, but, be very careful, because this is one thing, is that this whole lifestyle branding, right? This whole lifestyle sale, right? They show you fancy sports cars, women, expensive vacations, big houses, all of these things, right? Well, of course, you might realize, oh, okay, they're doing that in order to hook me, to sell to me. But it's the same thing as it works in the same way as it does for girls looking at other girls on social media. Let me explain. So there's this great book called Anxious Generation. And in it, I think it's written by Jonathan Haidt. He talks about how girls are much more prone to be depressed and anxious if they look at other beautiful girls on social media. Now, even though these girls know that social media isn't real, it still affects them. They can be literally looking at it, saying to themselves, oh, social media is not real, this is not real, and it's still gonna negatively affect them. So the same thing works with younger men looking at projection of success on YouTube. It works the same way. You might know that it's kind of staged, but it's still going to affect you. You're still going to get, sold. So, and there's nothing wrong with being sold, right? But you just need to know that these things work on a primal subconscious level. It's what kind of Tai Lopez started back in 2014, 17, maybe 16, with the Lambo and stuff. He cracked the code. If you just simply, how I say that there are two things that men cannot not look at. That's cars and beautiful women. If you see a beautiful woman walk by and you're a straight man, you cannot not look. It takes extreme willpower not to look at her pass by, right? Because it's just, men like beautiful women, right? And the same thing with cars. If there's a beautiful car driving by, like Lamborghini or whatever, you look at it and you admire the beauty of it, like the aesthetics. So yeah, I mean, just be aware that the whole lifestyle thing is being used to sell you on the dream lifestyle, essentially. That's what I think. And it's, it works every time, like a charm. So that's my 2 cents on that. But overall, I think, you got to learn from people who are more successful than you, for sure. All right, good question. What would I do with $500 if I was a complete beginner? I would definitely not spend it all on like coaching or a course. Definitely not, because then you have nothing left to work with. I would probably buy some kind of a course to give me a step-by-step, framework or an idea of where to go, or give me some kind of steps. If you can find a $100 course, great. If you can find a course for $100 or $50 or whatever, I would probably do that and then start learning basic skills. I would also just start like experimenting and doing things myself as well, So yeah, I would look at my equipment. If you have a phone, for example, and the camera is broken, in my case, then I would look into like replacing my phone and using some of that budget as well. But don't be too quick to spend the money, okay? Like, you are in the business of making money, okay? You're not in the business of spending money. So it's very tempting to go ahead and spend money to start to make money. But, if you have basic equipment, learn how to sell, learn basic skills. You can learn basically anything for free. It's just going to take you probably longer if you don't have some kind of step-by-step course or something like this. But also a step-by-step course, it's not like you're going to buy it and then you're going to magically just like figure it out and like do it. Like, it can explain to you everything, but it does not mean that you just follow it and then you implement it and then money starts coming in. There's still going to be a natural delay, and there's still going to be your own personal learning curve that you will need to do. But of course, you can cut that learning curve by investing into a course. So I would encourage beginners to look at their budget in terms of like a percent. Okay, I have 100%, and then every time you decide to spend money, don't think of money in terms of like full amounts, but think about it in terms of like percentage points. Okay, this course is going to cost me $100. All right, that's 20%. That's 1/5 of my money. All right. And another thing, by the way, I would also encourage is to have like regular payments come in, and don't go for like a full-time job, but I would encourage to have some kind of like a side job or something you can do where you don't have full 40-hour work week. Maybe you can do 10, 15, max 20 hours a week, so that you still have time each day left to learn how to make money online, but you have the, kind of recurring money come in every month that will enable you to to invest in yourself and learn and try new things. Because one thing I can tell you is that this is not going to be a quick process. This is a marathon, Matt. This will take a long time. Okay. So if you're ready to commit to the whole make money online thing, right, and you don't have income, first, get a part-time job and get some income coming in every month. Second, invest every single day into learning how to make money online. And then eventually you're going to start seeing some money come in. And then once your make money online income exceeds what you're making from your part-time job, and you start to feel like it makes sense to just like kind of cut that thing and just like put more hours into what you're doing, then of course you will be able to make that decision. But yeah, it will be, trust me, I did it. It's very stressful and not worth it to have no income and to learn how to make money online. Not worth it. Very stressful. Have some income and learn on the side, but make sure that you do have time for it. So you cannot have a full-time job. You need to have something part-time. All right, so if you guys are interested in learning more about how to make money online and specifically about the affiliate marketing 2.0, then I'm going to leave a link in the show notes to the free guide that I created. You can download it completely for free. Make sure to grab that. Make sure to check out my site. Sign up to Growth Notes, where I'm sharing weekly my advice, actionable advice on how to make more money. And yeah, stay tuned for the next podcast episode. Thank you.